Let the praise rise in this temple. Let my worship go beyond my words. Let my hands be a sign of my surrender. Let my heart make melodies unheard. King of glory, come down. We're touching heaven with our sound. In this moment, Lord, nothing else appears. I know you're real. Lord, I know you're real. So Lord, reign in my life, Lord, reign. Jesus, we welcome you with our hearts. We are asking you, reign, oh, reign in power and majesty, dominion, authority. Reign, Jesus, reign. Let the praise rise in this temple. Let my life fulfill your very word. I submit myself to the King of glory. I'm on my own, my rights have been deferred. King of glory, come down. We're touching heaven with our sound. In this moment, Lord, nothing else appeals. I know you. Yes, I know you're real. So, Lord, reign in my life, Lord, reign. Jesus, we welcome you. We are asking you to reign, oh, reign in power and majesty, dominion, authority, oh, reign.
Amen. Well, we are back once again here on a Wednesday. Welcome everyone to Birmingham Bible Church Winning Wednesday. What is Winning Wednesday? Well, I'm so glad that you asked. This is a time where we bring by some guests to talk about different topics. These topics may not be pertaining to your salvation, so it may not be a sermon, but these topics are for our lives and for our living. And so these topics challenges us to be better, to do better, to live better, to be healthier, to have more money. Sometimes we educate you on these broadcasts just to, know a little more about some information that you hadn't known before. But the list can go on and on. And so we love to do this on a Wednesday. So thank you so much, guys, for watching us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for rocking with us. We've been doing this since COVID. And so you guys continue to log on. And so we appreciate that. On today, we have some great information. Need you to share this broadcast, need you to text somebody, tell somebody, tag somebody about this good information that is going on today. And I am just super excited about this segment on today. Well, I'm always excited about this time because we just have some great topics, some great speakers. God has allowed us to align ourselves with some people who just know what they're talking about. They know their stuff. And so if you are like me, I started spring cleaning in May and started organizing, bought a few things and what have you. It's July, y'all, and I still haven't got anything completed yet. But of course, stuff gets in the way, life gets in the way. And then sometimes, let's be honest, we procrastinate a little bit. Pastor just talked about that in the spring cleaning series. That's a shameless plug there. Go back and watch that about how to get rid of procrastination. He did a couple of weeks ago. But then you look at your area and it's just overwhelming, all these books and clothes and what have you. And you just you look at it like, okay, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes tomorrow. But if you're like me and you need some help, you need some guidance. You want to declutter your house, your area, your office space, your room. Teenagers, y'all, come on now. Come on, listen to this broadcast. Declutter your area. But listen, we have a wonderful person. She has such a good spirit. Her name is Jessica Mack. She is with the Mack Master, her own company. She's also she's on Facebook as the Mack Master, but her name is Jessica Mack Agriston. And so, of course, thank you so much, Jessica, for coming on. This is Winning Wednesday, y'all. She's going to help us to win in our cleaning, So I'm excited about this. Our organizing, she's going to help us to win, y'all. So this is what we're going to do on today. So help me welcome everyone. Listen, don't forget to please share the broadcast. If you have any questions, any concerns, of course, I can look at it on Facebook and on YouTube. And so I can kind of look at your questions there. So please make sure you do that on today. And so, hey, Jessica, how are you?
I'm doing well, Lady Pam. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for just accepting this opportunity. I know you're busy because you got stuff to do. You got a lot of stuff to do for a lot of people. And
Right.
so I don't take for granted that you decided to just accept this invitation. So I'm excited about it. So first of all, I want to get started with, how did you get started? Because I don't like cleaning my house. So you
Right.
talking about organizing somebody else's house, that's a whole nother monster. And so I want to just, learn from you how you got started, and then we can take our discussion from there.
Sure. So it's long story short. I have been organized and very creative my entire life. I grew up as an only child. I do have a brother on my dad's side, but primarily it was only me and my mom in the home. Both of my parents, although divorced, they're both from the military or served in the military rather.
Mhm.
With that, I was so used to structure and order. And so I oftentimes, even as a little girl, found myself going to my grandparents' house, going to friend houses, and sometimes even
Mhm.
blasted out, even at social gatherings by what they now call ADHD. But I would actually, with my introverted self, I would kind of find something to clean up, find something to tidy, to organize. And I didn't really know that professional organizing was a thing. I started out, Chick-fil-A was my first job. Then I had a lot of retail jobs. Shout out to the Gaston Mall in Etowah County. I worked probably in just about every major department store there, plus Gap. And outside of that, I kind of transitioned more to corporate America, just because I started adulting and the bills were coming. And the faster I got away from the clothes, the more I would actually have bill money, to say the least. And so as I was working during corporate America, I found myself creating templates, creating guides that not only made my desk a little easier, but it also helped and assisted some of my coworkers and some mentoring groups. Like I was a Medicare expert. And so I oversaw like a few groups that actually helped me to implement systems and strategy. At the time, I didn't really realize, just because I was doing these things unofficially without a title, I didn't necessarily in my early adulthood realize that it was an entire thing with auditing, with compliance, with, just even now whereas I don't necessarily or have not started digital organizing, that's a thing as well, to actually show someone how to set up their email, how to create folders for your children from school, and for you, for example. So you have a folder for yourself for personal, then you have everything as it relates to your church's business, the taxes, the donations and things like that. And so it's so much easier when things are organized. But just to kind of keep the story a little bit shorter, as I worked in corporate America, I got burnt out. So there were times that I took breaks or had to, because I was working too hard. Most of the time I wasn't a physical worker. So I was a sedentary claims adjuster, and I adjudicated claims for about 13 to 14 years. And I found myself during seasons, whether it be because life was still happening for me, as well as with me serving at the church, I found myself really getting burnt out. With the diagnosis they say that I still have, such as ulcerative colitis, which is quote unquote stress induced, I found myself getting tired and needing the rest. And so during one of the rest periods, which just so happened to be COVID 2020, I met God at the track. So I took some time off, thankfully, or, fortunately or unfortunately. I was sick. So I was sitting in my home office working 70 to 80 hours upstairs. And at the time it was just, I was a single mom then. So it was just me and my daughter, and I had to close the door. Like I handled one of the major municipalities within the city of Birmingham. And with that, I'm very professional. So there was no background noise. I wanted to make sure my daughter was free to move about. But what I realized is that, and I literally put this in my resignation letter, like there was no 2 weeks notice. It was effective immediately. Hey, I love what I do. In fact, I still miss adjusting claims, but I quickly learned that a term that I call doormatism is no longer available for me. And just more so, I guess it's more from a standpoint of understanding and knowing how to properly set healthy boundaries, because I took on too much. I didn't speak up soon enough. And so my workload actually forced me into sickness. And so the sick time, I met God and I said, hey, God, I know you're not my company is not the company that I worked for at the time wasn't the only company, and I'm getting excited, so let me slow down. But my company, the company that I worked for at the time, wasn't the only one that signed checks. And so I said, God, what can I do? What have I been called to do? And I received what I need. And I said, hey, the bills that I have, what I face, the type of lifestyle. And more importantly, and me and my husband actually had this conversation about wondering, WOND, and WANDER last night about how through identity crisis and just life, like being the cute little African American, the young, cute African American girl who knew everything, who could take on everything. I didn't realize that I could do something else. And so, like I come from a background where my mom retired from 2 of her 4 jobs. So like she worked, I believe 21 years in the U.S. Army. And then she worked about, I think, almost 25 years, and could be reversed, 25 years with the Department of Human Resources. And so she didn't necessarily welcome change. But for me, I was searching and wondering, trying to find the thing that would work for me, where I wouldn't lose my daughter's voice and I wouldn't lose myself, even though it felt like I was withering away. And so God spoke to me. And in 2017, I had actually pro bono started referring to myself as the Mack Master. My father, who passed away 13 years ago, said that I represented a group of people. And for years, I couldn't find my groups. I was like, well, okay, well, maybe I'll meet them in college. I didn't meet them in grade school. Well, maybe I'll, after grade school, maybe I'll meet them while I'm working because I didn't meet them there. Maybe I'll meet them at the church, and I definitely didn't meet them there. No shame. We just didn't fit, so to speak. But in my sick bed, as I began to cry out to the Lord, asking him to kind of strip me of things. And I'm glad this is a platform where I can talk about God and it, and it's welcome. But I asked him to strip me of the things that didn't bring him glory and to show me the things that I needed to work on. And so when he gave me the idea of professional organizing, as OCD as some may think that I am in my own personal space, it was a mess. I couldn't care for myself. I called my mom, and my mom is so loving, but she's not as hands-on as I am. And all I could muster up and say was, hey, Mom, I need help. And so my mom came over, became my immediate caregiver. And by way of just hearing from the Lord, professional organizing fell in my lap. And so that was, what was that? So I quit my job September 25th, 2020. I started my business, and I was used to the constant and consistent, like paycheck. So I actually went to get a job, got COVID. COVID messed up my entire immune system. And then I found myself unable to work, overwhelmed with life, not knowing how I was going to make it, and even having to have the conversation with my daughter about what would happen if I died, because I was just that sick, couldn't care for myself or even think about caring for her. Mm-hmm. And so now here I am, almost 3 years in, and it hasn't been easy, but I'm grateful. So I know that was a long short story, but answer the question of who helps the help. Because so many times we take on our roles and responsibilities and we choose ourselves last, or we put ourselves last by way of our servitude. But unfortunately, outside of like those that kind of check on us, or those that don't, it's what we need oft, or having our needs met, they're more likely to be unmet. We never, and I say we as in the client, me and the clients that I service, because I am my own client. But the clients that I service, most of us, while our stories are not, exactly identical, right, something that I've gone through helps me to be very relative to them, where I'm able to assist them by way of decluttering, organizing, time management, helping them do their schedules or whatever else, God kind of shows me on the spot that I do for them.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a powerful testimony, Jessica, just of how, you've gone through some things. And so not only is it a testimony, but you're using your gift, of being OCD to help minister to other people. And so, no, that's great. And, I know I said cleaning, and so you can help us with the difference between, a cleaning service and a professional organizer. What's the difference between those two things?
Sure. So both services complement one another, but they're totally different. A cleaning service typically, unless there are some specifics that are discussed, most cleaning services take care of the main areas. They sweep, they mop, they vacuum, all those and they dust the hard to reach places. And they also, some of them I've learned by way of servicing clients, they may even stack up items and create another unfortunate pile. And then whereas those services are typically maintained, some people have, depending upon the traffic in the foot traffic in their home, some people have cleaners that come weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, or even, like more often during the holidays. But professional organizing, it's a little bit different. So with professional organizing, it's more intimate. So I get a chance to listen to my client, to know that each client and even the map plan that I create for them, while the packages are the same, the services are tailor-made to them. So I get to learn how they actually do life versus just going blindly and just picking up their items like a cleaner would and kind of putting the trash in the trash and things like that. So I actually take the time during what is known as a space planning consultation. I walk through the spaces. Most of them are in person, and virtual is also an option. But I walk through those spaces and say, okay, well, hey, well, tell me how you get dressed. Tell me what you don't like about this room. Tell me, what are your goals? What can I do? So I serve as a clutter coach to actually help clients, whether they're single, married, have children without, and, whatever the case, whether they're moving, transitioning, they've unfortunately lost a loved one, or they're even adding to their family with a newborn. I help every ebb and flow of life. And it's more of, I'm an accountability partner, and we're actually utilizing with the space that they have. Oftentimes I'll make suggestions, whether it be a custom closet or even products such as bins or baskets. But then from there, we really determine, okay, are your items serving you? Like where should you place it, or, things like that. And I do have clients, because of the tailor-made services, there's an option where I could just have a conversation with the client and then they trust me and my team to do the work. Or if a client is up for the challenge and wants more accountability to maintain his or her own space, they actually work alongside me. And without being drill sergeant, I kind of coach them. We laugh, we cry, and we go through organizing together.
That's good. And so it's good that you serve as a coach, because you're right. People who are, have a cleaning service, you're right. They're just going to stack it up somewhere. Or after they leave, you're going to be like, well, where do they put so-and-so? That kind of thing. And where's my so-and-so? I can't find it. Or it's in that area somewhere. But it's good that you actually are coaching them along and say, okay, this is what you need to do. This is, what are your needs? Let's go ahead and finalize and get it to where it's workable for you. So that's great. I love that. And there are some people on here who may say, you know what, I don't need this. This is not necessary. But a couple of weeks ago, I remember one of my sons came in the house and he was like, man, I feel better when the house is clean. I was like, yes, don't you feel better? And so what are some benefits? What are some benefits of having an organized space, having an organized office? Talk about some of those.
Yes. So being organized and staying tidy does promote total wellness of life. So depending upon, and every person is different. And of course, it has to do with preferences and, how people flow. But studies show that it actually promotes positive thinking. It helps to calm overwhelming anxiety. When spaces are tidy, it's easier to get dressed. It's easier to maintain, as well as the systems kind of work as a guide. And so I'll say this, that's kind of like the B clause to that. Being organized does not. And so it's more of, hey, you know exactly where your shoes are and you're able to get dressed versus, flipping through piles of clothes looking for the red shoe when one is in a closet and the other one's in the car, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what about even just like you said, okay, so you can find stuff. How about that? I noticed, and it was just one simple thing. I just put all my t-shirts in one spot, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually find, and it's quicker. I'm saving time.
Right.
So I'm not spending 30 minutes trying to find my favorite t-shirt when I'm like, all my t-shirts are right here. I could just bam, put it on, and then I can go. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. So what are some potential challenges that people may face in this decluttering process? Any challenges they might have, like, girl, this is too much stuff. I don't know. What's some challenges?
Yes, so I do have even viewers on my personal and business page that may see like a before picture and it somewhat resembles. It didn't happen overnight. So dealing with keepsakes or, like unfortunate of a loved one, or attempting to overcome a new illness or a new bad season or new, like a sick season of life where I would say about like 25 per maybe, well, I would say about 45% of my clients are organized or were at some point organized prior to them hiring me. And so we take on, I'm not sure how you were raised, but my family, I mean, we didn't necessarily call on help, like we didn't have anyone in our private personal spaces. And so anything that we couldn't do, either we found out how to do it or it didn't get done for the sake of that. And so in addition to dealing with the emotional aspect of things, revisiting, like the high and lows of the ebbs and flows of life, oftentimes the other half of my clients have a hard time accepting that they're busy now, or they're busier than they've ever been, and they need assistance, kind of like, okay, they need more verbal coaching to where before we get started with the physical clutter, I slow the process down for them so that they're able to actually understand specifically what happens or what they can expect. And then that way they're not blindsided. And so they can kind of somewhat, be in control. And then instead of me telling them what to do, it's a gentle, especially for seniors, it's important that seniors age in place. So if I was serving a senior, okay, well, how would you, Mr. So-and-so, what do you think about this? So it's not more of a command, it's more of a suggestion, and I'm not forceful. So it's, and so it's just more personal preference, but then also being in tune with meeting the client where he or she is. So I can, just with the spirit of discernment and some of the backstory and just me just having an eye for clutter, I can almost tell a client without them verbalizing, what has happened. I can tell how they got dressed and, what they do after they cook, who puts up the groceries or the lack thereof. Yeah.
Right. And it's so funny you mentioned about, clutter, because especially, if you live in a house with multiple people, you always find out that maybe one person may be a pack rat and the other person, may not be. And so you have to find that common ground. Okay, now, so you want this. Okay, so where are we going to put, but I like the fact that you're coaching people through the process, even senior citizens. I remember, and my grandmother passed away a couple of years ago, and oh my gosh, I didn't know she had so much stuff in her home. And so like you're right, for your senior citizens, they may not want to throw away those namesakes, those keepsakes. And she would say, I don't want to throw that away because, I may want to go back and read it, kind of thing. And so it's good that you're kind of coaching them through, and maybe even making suggestions, as far as, oh, hey, let's do something with this, or so that is awesome. So what is the financial commitment when it comes to hiring a professional organizer?
Sure. So the price varies organizer to organizer, as well as I guess region, so to speak, as it relates to my business, the Mack Master Professional Organizing. I have sessions starting at $399. So that particular session is an intense 3-hour session that comes with me traveling to the location that's within 30 miles of our business office. And from there, it can go anywhere from it really depends upon the volume. So like, whereas one person may have a 2-bedroom garden home and they're minimalist and they just need help transitioning Christmas decor. I've also had some clients that have 8 bedrooms, with 6 bathrooms, and all of their adult children still live at home. So the more volume, of course, the more hours and time needed to actually get things tidy and to help them to secure the keepsakes and discard items that no longer serve them or, that are damaged.
Yeah, no, that's good. And so a lot of times we have people who watch from out of state or out of town. I was going to ask you that. So I know yours is a 30 minutes minimal drive, I guess, from where you are. So of course you will accrue, somebody's watching from Georgia, you'll,
Sure.
just y'all can have a consultation and talk about that.
Oh yeah. So I actually, my team and I have actually served the Southeast region of the United States.
Wow.
So it's nothing, anything, even if someone, all things being equal and we determine that we're both a good fit, then I don't mind even, I'll fly. Of course, we're not driving, but there, of course, just travel expenses that will be incurred. But outside of that, organizing is organizing. Yes. And I'm open. Definitely.
And we'll get to some pictures in a minute. I don't know, you tell me when you want to add them in, but I thought about this. Okay. So I thought about, okay. All right. Let me just kind of pull it up.
Okay.
Because I noticed that on some of your pictures, like there is, okay, let me go maybe to the one where you actually, yes. So you have baskets and you got, organizing things, whatever that is, right? And so it's part of your time, maybe even going out and buying that. Is it ever like, okay, we're going to do this today and then I'm going to come back, tomorrow and pick up some things, tell me what all your services may provide, if that makes sense.
Sure, it does. So with our services, complimentary shopping comes with it. Okay. I enjoy the luxury of being able to order online, and depending upon the location of my client's home, sometimes I ship, most times I ship directly to my home, but let's say I've taken on a client within a 24-hour notice and Amazon is able to deliver the next day, then I would then ship items to the client's home. So with that particular shipping, as I said, complimentary shopping is available. And that's typically like an hour of shopping after I have completed the master plan with my client, as well as gone over, what type of aesthetic. Do they like clear bins, wire, wicker? And so what we can see right here, starting at the front there, it's mainly like wire at the front of the photo. And then we have the large wicker baskets towards the back. And so it's about personal preference and aesthetic sometimes, which is about 30% of the time. And then the other 70%, the clients are like, hey, just give me what I need. I'll let you do your thing. And the blessing of organizing is that because of the intimate time that I spend from the beginning with my client, we form a relationship and they trust me to do what it is that I do professionally. And so most times, like this particular client, I was able to come in, and I actually did a space planning consultation for her entire home. And during the 2 days that me and my staff were there, we only did the pantry and the kitchen cabinets. And then we broke the rest of her home down into phases based upon her availability and her budget.
Okay.
And so now there are times where we can, or it really depends upon what's best for the client. for in terms of time and finances. I do have a plethora of financing options available. If
Right.
whether, and I know a lot of people there, as it relates to small businesses, some people are quote unquote offended when you mention financing, and other people are excited because it helps them
Hmm.
become and to maintain stewardship. So with financing, whether it's a need or a preference, it's available. And just based upon that side conversation, I determine what type of financing option that I actually suggest for my client.
Oh, no, that's great. I'm gonna go through some other pictures. So this is a before and after, right?
Yes. So the bins, the picture that you showed before
Yeah.
actually were used for that pantry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see them at the bottom. Wow. Oh my gosh, that looks great. Okay, I'm gonna go to another one, which is more kitchen, and
Yes.
uh,
So that's the same kitchen.
same kitchen. Wow, I like that, and it's even color
So
coordinated.
yes. Mhm.
Yeah, I just recently did this, so I was able to do this.
That's great.
It wasn't color coordinated, but and then I had a meeting with everybody who does the kitchen. I said, now look, y'all see how this looks? I need it to stay just like this. I don't need, measuring cups right here. I need you to put it over here. So yeah, that's good. That's
No,
good.
I'm proud of you. And oftentimes, that kind of, if it's okay to kind of
Yeah.
segue there. So oftentimes, whether it's the husband that's organized or desires to get organized, or the wife that's trying to maintain the home, a lot of families do not get their children or their, even their in-laws or parents involved
Right.
as much as they should. And so, like, if my clients allow me to fully be the Mac master and they give me free reign to coach them on the
Mhm.
spot, I offer suggestions, and I even set up bins. Like, if you'll go back, Lady Pam, if you'll go back
Yeah.
to the pantry, the
Oh, the
before and after,
pantry. Oh, the pantry.
yes,
Okay. Yes.
okay, so this particular client has I want to say maybe between 3 and 4 year olds. So even
Oh,
though the wall looks very tall, this pantry is underneath the staircase, and I'm touching the screen like it's, oh, there we go. Can you
oh.
see it zoomed in, or is it just zoomed on mine?
It may be just zoomed. I can
Oh,
do it like, hold on a second. I can really zoom it in and do like this. So that's better.
perfect. Okay.
Okay.
So if you'll look, like, going from the on the left hand side, the
Yes.
photo. Okay, so the second row, so we have the wicker bottom baskets at the bottom, and then the second row, that's mainly the toddler snacks. So
Ah,
I actually, instead of, sometimes you'll see the cereal at the top. Even when my daughter was younger, well before I started my organizing business, there were times where I was exhausted. So the snacks that I would
mhm.
allow her to have, I had those in a closet, in a drawer, somewhere where it was easily accessible. Now she had asked for, had to get permission,
Right.
but it was something that actually alleviated me from having to stop whatever I was doing, whether cooking, cleaning, or doing absolutely nothing, because that's a thing.
Right.
Um, she was able to actually get up and get her own snacks. And so those are the type of coaching tips that I actually mention and provide to my clients. And even with like, for example, let's say this particular family goes grocery shopping to restock the snacks that their daughter likes. Well, it's a process called decanting, is where, let's say she has a box of gummies. Instead of putting the box of gummies on the shelf, you just simply unpack them. So you discard the container, and you pour them in a bin, you put them in a drawer. And that
Mhm.
decanting actually allows, it helps you get rid of the paper faster, which takes up space. And with the bins actually complement the pantry, so that they're not all over the place. Or even with how most of my clients have like wired shelves, until they actually upgrade to custom shelving. And so with the wire shelves, a pack of gummies or, goldfish, they would slide
Right.
through
Slide right
the
through.
wire racks. Yes. So the bins, they serve more purposes. So while this particular pantry is aesthetically pleasing, is also convenient and functional for the family.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And then I'm gonna go through, let's see, was another one. Okay, here's one for the closet.
This is one of my favorites. Yes. So you go ahead. You go ahead, and I'll just kind of
Oh
bounce
no,
off
this is good. I mean, the shoes for ladies, those of you who are, and also I want to talk about, because you have some people, I've seen all these advertisements with custom, closets or whatever. So we can talk about that as well, but talk about what you did for this area.
Sure. So this particular picture, and I don't believe I showed or sent you rather the before, but with the photo that's featured, it's a tidy session. So in addition to offering the initial organizing services, I also offer maintenance sessions, which is for me and my staff to come back a few hours because systems are already in place, and we just simply tidy what, kind of pick up. So it's somewhat similar to, like, in comparison, because you guys may be familiar, a cleaner, for example. Typically a cleaner deep cleans first, and then they set their clients up on routine maintenance to come back and just clean, the hot spots. And so that's typically, that's actually what we do in terms of resetting spaces initially and developing systems. And now that these systems are in place, it was easier. So we didn't have to start from scratch. It was more of okay, we already have our layout. Let's just grab the shoes from over here, and hang things up. Some of the items had been laundered. There were purses, even with like paper. And I don't know about y'all, but sometimes even me as the organizer, I can, I don't like changing purses. And so I have like a work bag during the week, and I'll do good. Let me back up. So I actually take that same work bag to church because I'm taking notes on my iPad. So I try to, be a little stylish, but this particular client has an array of great items. And so if you'll notice, like on the far left, she has, it's beautiful, beautiful built-in custom closet, by the way. But she has like her boots. So we've aligned her boots like what would be to the back wall, like where, yes, right there. Yes, ma'am. And then if you'll go over to the right, the top row, those are her, I'm sorry, just about an inch. So right
here.
So from the boots, just go over to the side.
From the boots. Oh, okay.
Right. Okay, now go over to the right just a little bit. Right there. Yes. So those are her blazers, which are color coded. And then at the bottom, there are sweaters in the front, color coded, light to dark. And then if you'll notice, yes, as you're sliding that mouse, they also, she also has like her jackets outside of her furs. So her furs are actually on the other side, which is not featured. But all of the short jackets, like waist length or shorter, are featured there. And then the next column, because she is an AKA, I have actually everything, even if it doesn't have their official logo and what have you, the emblem on there, anything that's white, that's beige, that's, any shade of pink or green, as well as there are a couple of blacks with the logo on them. I've actually designated that area for all of her sorority paraphernalia. And then she's so pretty that the bottom row right underneath it is all of the sparklies.
Yeah, I see that. Wow. And then all the purses are together. Oh, this is nice. And I think, let me see if I had, it's hard to see what's, okay, so here's another closet, kind of same.
Yes.
Same.
And now, so what's featured behind these particular, like the cabinet doors and the bottom, those are actually long hanging dresses. And so this is aesthetically pleasing. So even when you close the door, it looks nice, but even when you open it, what you see is the same. So we start with white, and then it just goes to all the way through the colors down to black.
Nice. Very nice. Well, I feel better just looking at it. Now talk about this picture.
Okay, so this picture is prior to me actually organizing. So I have recently partnered with Jeff Gammon of Closet Tech of Alabama. So Mr. Jeff is so sweet, and he's been in business for as long as I've been alive, so 35 years. And he and I hit it off really well. And I work with him and am a closet design specialist. So one thing that I offer during my space planning consultation, if clients are interested, is a complimentary mock-up of what would be a custom closet for them. And then typically those particular quotes are given to clients within 3 to 5 business days of pricing, not only for the closet, but as well as what it would take. So with getting a custom closet, we actually have to, we, as in my staff and I, we come in and we declutter. So we go with the client, we determine what they want, what they're rid of. We all away items to donation or consignment shops. And then we also house things outside of the workspace. So the following day, and sometimes, just based on availability within that week, our builder from Jeff's team from Closet Tech, they'll actually come in and they'll build this custom closet that I designed. And then the following few business days, my staff and I would actually come back. The clothes that we removed, we'll put them back based upon these new spaces and develop new systems, and just an immaculate, way of a closet.
Now, say his name is Jeff. Who now? Say it again, Jeff.
Jeff Gammon of Closet Tech of Alabama.
Of Closet Tech. All right, I'm going to put that in the chat in a minute. That's wonderful. It's beautiful. Okay. You garages. Actually,
yes. So you can, as it relates to Jeff, he is very busy, and you can feel free to check out. I can actually send you a link as well. But for contact, it would actually be easier and probably faster if any interested people would reach out directly to me.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yes.
Because it's who you know sometimes. So I'm
serious.
People move faster.
And I agree, but just who he is, anybody, he just is a pro at what he does, so he doesn't mind, whether for me or anybody else. But
yeah. And I love this. So you know how when you go into somebody else's house and you just kind of, people have their garages open, I'll be like, what in the world? Exactly. I mean, it's so junky. And so so you organize garages too.
Yes. Now there isn't a space that I don't do with our staff. I will say the only thing we don't do more specifically is I guess more so like clean, kind of deep clean. I've had some clients that have requested that we organize where their fur babies may have, where there's so to speak. Yeah. So those type of areas we avoid, but anything else, even I've recently partnered with Southern, and I'll have to list the name, or you guys just contact me if this for like biohazard and hazardous things such as like trauma, any crime scenes. And she was actually just recently telling me a story of how they kind of clean out. So I have contacts with anything that I don't do. I can, pretty much refer my clients out. And that service comes complimentary, where I schedule the appointments as well with the outside vendors.
Okay, I got you. Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. And then you also do offices, right? So people who work in an office, you organize offices as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So let me see. I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss. Oh, yes. You talked about this. You have new additions to the family. Oh, wow. I did. I wish I could have done this. I wish I would have thought of this. This is nice. All the diapers, the onesies, somebody's potty training. So there's underwear there. That's nice. Nice. Because, if you're adding someone to your home, it could be a child, it could be, an adult parent. You still have to organize. I mean, you don't think about that stuff, but this is, this is good. It's awesome. Make sure I didn't miss. Yeah. Okay. So let me stop share. I'm saying I might have missed. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get to this slide in a minute. I'm gonna share this at the very end because I want to know what are some tips that you can give us, just kind of on the air to help us with this, if we want to try to start doing some things or just something we need to kind of work on until we call and make an appointment with Jessica. That's the point. All right. Well, what can we do, Jessica?
Okay, your phone cut out and I missed the question. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I was saying, what are some techniques or some tips that we can do to organize certain areas of our home before we
Sure.
contact you?
I would say, yeah, so I would say one thing that I see the most, especially families with 2 or more children, but it has no respective number either, but to make sure that each family member has their own laundry basket.
Mhm.
So that's helpful. Calling, but more so prior to our staff arriving to organize, the investment could be maximized in terms of us organizing all of the clothes if the client was able to launder all of their clothes or wash all of their clothes prior to our arrival. That way, instead of having to look at dirty clothes once we leave, everything can be put up and really start afresh once we leave. So that's a good tip. And one thing that I find helpful, still in the closet, is closets are my favorite, but one thing that I find helpful in closets and even with drawers is that sometimes clients are stacking things in bedroom closets instead of like stacking clothes in bins that you have to dig through versus actually, purchasing hangers or purchasing enough hangers to actually hang things up. Now in my home, we hang. So I call them kick up. So little clothes, we slip on around the house or our undergarments, they're in drawers, but everything else,
that's right.
Pardon me, even if it's a t-shirt that we wear out, it's going on a hanger. And we do laundry. So let me say this, and y'all, I think I'm just so I just really like closets, but and I wish I had a hanger, so I don't have any props today. But as I'm decluttering, what I notice sometimes is, let's say we have a client who has limited available space in their closet because they have a great amount of clothing. And so instead of them properly hanging an item, they may like kind of slip it through. So kind of hook a hanger into the existing hangers. And fortunately, depending upon how much weight is on that item, that actually contributes to the wired shelving coming down. Yeah. So I would say don't do that. And as much as you can hang, because it's faster to, do the laundry when you hang versus folding, to do that. And then even in, thank you. So now I have a hanger foot. So yeah, exactly. So even in just day-to-day things, whether it be, I see it more often with teenagers, is putting trash in the trash can. So an empty water bottle. Well, why are there 5 under your bed? What are you throwing? And the adults are not exempt, and so my services are judgment free, but some of our clutter is because we're saving things. And then it also goes back to, some of the traumatic things that we have been fortunate enough to endure and we're overcoming by way of, clutter coaching services and counseling. Right. And so everyone that wants to take on the challenge of decluttering, those are some of the things. It's like, if you're drinking water in this area, let's just get you a trash can in here. And then don't allow the trash can to run over. Now, it's great if you have clean staff and you don't have to touch your trash can. That's a blessing. But outside of that, to maintain some of the clutter is, hey, I ran to Walmart and I got a bag of chips. Well, instead of just removing the bag from Walmart, we just throw we together, we throw the entire bag. So the plastic grocery bag and the chip bag in the pantry. And so now after 4 or 5 Walmart runs, we have 6 or 7 plastic bags. We don't know what's in them. We can't see the snacks. We go and we buy more chips because the chips aren't visible. Yeah. So it's like, if we unpack things that we regularly use, we would be able to save more money because of the known invisible inventory. So you could save money, whether hiring me or not, by just simply having all the shirts with the shirts, the pants with the pants, all
Yes.
of the seasoning with the seasoning. Oh, another tip for the kitchen.
Okay. Yes.
All of your COVID seasonings, just dump them. Dump them. So the seasonings that are in the back, trash them.
The what's
Most
this in the back?
seasonings
Say it
and
again.
the,
Oh,
the
seasons.
cooking
Oh, yeah.
spices.
You sure
Yes.
right. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Most of my clients have not. They have like the fresh seasoning, and then the fresh the new spices, and then they have COVID spices, and then some of us have pre-COVID spices.
Pre-COVID spices.
Pre-COVID, yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
And then back to the clothes, if it's something that you haven't worn in several years, we develop a bag. Okay, this is stuff we're going to donate and give to Salvation
Exactly.
Army. So some of it is even that. It's just, okay, let's just declutter our closet by getting. I freed up my closet so much when I was just getting rid of some of the stuff, especially
Good.
boys, things they've grown out of because they don't know they've grown out of it. They just gonna slap it on. I'm gonna say that is too short. I think that has run its course. So we need to get something else. But that to me, at least in my
Right.
house, that helps as well. Yeah. And it's just a
And
matter of,
those tips.
yeah. It's a matter of also just being a good steward. God has given us jobs. He's given us income. He's given us resources. So this helps us, this cleaning and organizing process, decluttering, helps us to be good stewards of what God has given us. So that's awesome. Okay, one other question. So any success stories, anything clients have said, oh my gosh, this has been a blessing. My blood pressure is down now. I mean, any
Sure.
success stories?
So all of my clients they have benefited from our services. One client in particular, we were able to help them navigate their laundry. So it's a family of 6. So husband, wife, 4 children. I coached them through washing their laundry prior to starting the organizing process. And since then, here we are almost a year and a half later. And not only have we been able to maintain their spaces, but when they moved into their new home, we packed them up, unpacked them, developed new systems, and now they're maintaining them.
Yeah. That's awesome. That is wonderful. That's what it's about. Man, this was so good. Okay, so now we're about to end. So I'm going to put up the flyer that has your contact information because we want people to reach out to you today.
Sure.
All right, so tell us how we can follow you and contact you.
Yes. So just as the screen shows, we are the Mack Master on all social media platforms. And the best way to reach out would be by way of either an instant message or more specifically, just simply going to www.themackmaster.com and scheduling a complimentary consultation call with me. And so once you schedule the consultation call, within 24 to 48 business hours, I contact you and we just simply determine how we can work together, give you more tips on how I can help you get organized, and then you get to enjoy your space a little bit better than you did before.
Yes, awesome. So listen, everyone, make sure you please contact the Mack Master. I have enjoyed this segment. Thank you so much. Last week, y'all, we talked about buying a home, and my segue into this week was, listen, before you even purchase a home, or maybe you're getting moved in and you need to kind of declutter your area so that your house is visible and in good shape for showing, y'all call the Mack Master. Put aside some funds for this. She says she offers financing as well. So this was wonderful. We're going to have you every year. So I want you to mark it down. We're going to have you every year.
Yeah, I would love to. And if you want, so January is National Organizing Month. So if you want to kind of kick me off in January, and I will say to the viewers, be sure to like and follow as well as share for sure, because I'll have some free clutter challenges coming up. I made a post about one being $3.99. And so with that particular post, I've actually been led to offer that for nothing, just simply time, because it's so imperative that prior to someone hiring me, they get to know me and they also see live demonstration and get tips on what to expect prior to them investing with me.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That's a good idea to have you in January, and just to really give us.
And any other time. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Any
because
other time, I'm open to it.
yeah, no, and we need coaches. We have a financial coach. A lot of us, you just have coaches. Some people don't have the label coach, but they coach us in different things in our relationships, marriages, and parenting, and all that stuff. And
Right.
so no, this is so important, a very key area. And so I'm just going to give a few brief announcements to our guests. You hold on, you stay right there.
Okay.
Just my upcoming events, so people kind of know what's going on and what they got to get signed up for. Guys, I have enjoyed this segment. I hope you guys have too. We were here with the Mack Master. She's going to help you master that closet, master that garage, master that bedroom, all the areas of your home, your office. And so make sure y'all reach out to her. We talked about how to own a home. That was last week. Brandy was on, and her and Justin gave us some wonderful tips. Y'all go back and listen to that if you're interested in buying a home, what all it takes. So that was good. Next week, this was Father's Day weekend, this past weekend. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. But Nicholas Wilson, he's actually our graphics guy, but he's been certified, he's been educated. And so he's actually now a mental health professional. And so he's going to give us a word to our fathers on next Wednesday. So be sure you join us next Wednesday for that. Don't forget, on tomorrow, we have our small groups. That's every Thursday at 7:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have a great time. We're learning about what it means to be a disciple. So this is via Zoom. Anybody can join, but you need to send us an email at smallgroups@bhambc.org so we can send you the Zoom ID information. Again, that is smallgroups@bhambc.org. This weekend, we are having our spiritual renewal retreat. I'm super excited. All the guests who are going to be here presenting, it's only $100 per person for the entire weekend. That includes your meals and snacks and those sessions with the speakers. And so we're going to have stuff for married couples, singles, for women, for men. So it's going to be a great time of really sharing and learning. So go to our website, bhambc.org, to make sure that you are register, and then also our t-shirts. If you order a t-shirt, they are here. We will give them out at the beginning of the conference on Friday, but we'll give them out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for worship celebration as well. I believe that's all we have. I'm sorry, a couple more things. Our summer reading program for all of our kiddos that is going on now. So please make sure, youth and children, you are grabbing a book, you are reading, and then of course visit our website, bhambc.org, so you can click on there, get your points for it. Of course, you have to submit a summary, want to make sure you're reading it. But at the end of the summer reading program, we are giving prizes, top prizes to each age category. And so you want to do that because we're going to announce the winner at our back to school rally, which is going to be Sunday, August the 6th at 10 a.m. Excited about this as well. We're going to have guest speakers who are going to be talking about different things for our parents, for our children, for our teachers. We have guests talking about safety, social media, great things, guys. We got about 7 or 8 speakers, so I'm excited about that. We're going to give our free school supplies, so mark your calendars for August the 6th. That's on a Sunday. And then in July, we have Miss Margaret. If you are interested in yoga and meditation, ladies, we are back with our Divas Den. Ladies, we're going to hang out. You don't have to be a member of BBC. If you just want to come and just fellowship, learn how to flourish, have some fun, we're going to talk about breathing techniques to help ease tension and pain. And so, listen, if you are a parent, you really need this because kids are going back to school. We need to learn how to decompress. So this is going to be fun, y'all. But listen, make sure you sign up by sending me an email at ladypam@tcowi.org, ladypam@tcowi.org. We're having this July the 29th from 11 to 1, and that is on a Saturday at Homewood Library. Okay, I think that is all that I have for y'all on today. So once again, I'm gonna show this screen up with Miss Jessica. Oh, I just saw your text. You're on. Okay. And so Jessica, if you could just also, I'm put this up here for a little time so people can, I don't know, take a snapshot of it. But give us some ending tips, just some takeaways.
Sure.
Also, Jessica just said, y'all, she can come and speak to the parents and children about coming to the back to school rally. So we got another speaker. So y'all, and listen, Jessica, I want to set you up with a table. So so people can come by and talk to you one-on-one, and you can sign up people, whatever. So yeah, that's wonderful. Look, in God moving on this Winning Wednesday. So listen, give us some ending tips on what we need to do. Give us some encouraging words, as people look at how they can contact you.
Okay. I'll again, Lady Pam, thanks so much for this opportunity. I'm jumping up and down and trying to, in my mind, just over the excitement of freedom and the possibility of helping. And so I will say to the viewers, there's no need to be ashamed of how cluttered you may see your items. By way of my gifting as well as the teaching of my staff, we are trained to actually to deal with the clutter, and I actually see the masterpiece before we actually get started. So even if you need help by way of just talking out things, maybe you're a DIYer and you want to take on the task or challenge, that's something we can do. Don't hesitate, whether it be clutter with me, the physical clutter, or even the clutter in your mind that comes with the change of seasons. Get help and be okay with delegating. And so again, thanks for the time. And if there's anything that we can do within our business and our scope of work, just reach out, www.themackmaster.com. And we can't wait to help transform your life, your space, and your office. And thanks again.
Thank you so much. The Bible says that God can't heal what we conceal. So listen, be open and transparent with Jessica. Don't be worried about it. I don't want nobody to see my stuff and see my space. Let Jessica see your space. She can help. And so thank you, Jessica, for doing this for us going on. We're going to see you August the 6th. Amen. So excited. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next Wednesday at the same time.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks, Pam. Have a great day.
You're welcome. You too.